Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today for our virtual pancake project. Huge thank you to ATB for making this project possible. On July 7th, we were able to distribute 500 pancake packages with activities and coloring utensils to kids all over Calgary. And today we're hosting the fun portion for everyone to join. So everyone raise your juice or your breakfast beverage, and cheers to ATB for making this possible. That supported this project. Thank you to AFT for providing this platform for us. They're our friends at Autism Asperger's Friendship Society. Make sure we have some really exciting guests coming up for you today. I'll also introduce our team members. Nikki Nash, our incredible executive director, and Shannon Smith, who is our wonderful program coordinator. Give these folks a hand, and if you guys like to say anything to our group, feel free.
Welcome, everybody, and cheers, and thank you so much for supporting the project, and I hope everyone has so much fun.
Woo! All right, for our first, Shannon, did you want to say anything? Sorry.
Oh, all good. I was just going to say good morning and same thing. Thank you to everybody for your support and everybody who's participated and helped us out. And yeah, I look forward to this.
Awesome. Well, cheers, everybody. Enjoy your juice. Our first guest is going to be Caitlin Bland. Caitlin Bland is a pastry chef who has worked with Kids Up Front in the past and has her own channel for learning how to make all sorts of good baked yummies. And you can find her at caitlinskitchen.com or on Instagram at Caitlin's Kitchen. She'll be leading us through a baking lesson to make some birthday cake pancakes. For those of you who don't know, our 20th birthday is actually on Monday, July 13th. So this birthday cake pancake recipe can be used to celebrate your birthday, our birthday, Stampede breakfasts, everything in between. So we hope you enjoy. We'll bring her on stage next. Perfect.
There we go.
Perfect. And then Nikki and Shannon, we'll just turn our cameras and mics off and then we'll be good.
All right, good morning, everybody. So like we said, we're going to be making some birthday cake pancakes today. I'm pastry chef Caitlin Bland. And as Carissa said, we can make these pancakes for your birthday, your mom's birthday, Kids Up Front's birthday, or just a general Friday morning, because who doesn't love a little bit of sprinkles in their pancakes in the morning? So most of you will probably have received the recipe, but I'll go through it anyways, just to make sure in case if anybody doesn't have it. Super, super easy today. We're going to be starting with pancake mix. So the fun part about the easy pancakes is when it starts with a mix. So we've got 3/4 of a cup of just regular dry pancake mix in here. Make sure that you're looking for the one that has just add water to it if you're making this at home. If you got to add eggs and everything, it messes with the recipe a little bit. So just add water. And then also to make it birthday cake, it actually tastes like a birthday cake. We're going to add a little bit of powdered cake mix as well. So I have right here white cake mix. You can use yellow cake mix. You can use funfetti. You can even try switching it up and use chocolate cake mix. Have some chocolate birthday cake pancakes. So easy enough. We're just going to mix those two dry ingredients right together. Super easy. I'm going to grab my whisk here. Just get them nice and combined. And then what's birthday cake pancakes without sprinkles? In my world, sprinkles make everything taste better. They're just some magical little sugary ingredient that they just make everything taste 10 times better. So I'm going to use these party mix decors. Now, a note about sprinkles when you're adding them into pancakes, you want to make sure that you're using this Jimmy style. So they're the ones that are thin and long. If you use the non-Perel style, which are the ones that are tiny, small little balls, those ones bleed color really quickly and really easily, and they're going to turn your pancake batter all gray. These Jimmy ones are little pieces that where the sugar itself is actually colored. It's not a coating, so it's not going to bleed into your pancakes. You're going to actually wind up with sprinkles throughout your pancakes and not just a weird gray mix. So make sure you're using the Jimmy style of sprinkles. So I'm just going to toss a couple of those right in there. Give her a nice whisk, and it looks all festive and birthday cakey already. Now, the next step is we're just going to add some water. So for this one, it's 2/3 of a cup of water. So we've got 3/4 of a cup of dry pancake mix, 1/4 of a cup of cake mix, and 2/3 of a cup of water. So super easy. I don't know about you guys, but I'm generally pretty sleepy in the morning, and I don't have time to make pancakes from scratch now. I just want to add water to my mix and call it a day, get some pancakes in me. And that's it. That's your pancake batter. Super simple. We're just going to whisk that just so there's no lumps. You don't want to over whisk it. You just want to make sure that there's no lumps. And then we're just going to let that sit for a minute. So we want all the baking powder, baking soda to start to activate a little bit. So we're going to have some nice fluffy pancakes. So we're just going to set that off to the side while we get our pan heating up. So I've got a fancy induction burner here. So if you're using a pancake griddle, you're going to go to 375 degrees, I believe is what I said in the recipe, 350, 375, somewhere on that range, or just over medium heat, basically. So I'm going to turn on my induction burner here and assume that I can figure out how it works. Maybe, maybe not. Well, it's technology. Me and technology, we're not exactly friends. All right, come on. Well, I swear this was working yesterday. All right, so it's back up. We're going to put this on the oven instead. So like I said, we're going to go on to medium heat. And we're just going to shut this thing right off. Things happen. No big deal. So while that's heating up, we're actually going to get going on our glaze. So again, the fun part about birthday cake pancakes is frosting. To me, that's the best part of a birthday cake is the icing on it. So we got to have a little bit of icing on our pancakes. So to do that, we're going to take some powdered sugar. So we've got 1 cup of powdered sugar here. And then we've got 2 tablespoons of milk. You can use milk, you can use cream. If you really want to, you could use water. And we're going to pour that in here. And then we've also got a little bit of vanilla extract. So we've just got 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract right here. So we're going to pour that guy in there as well. And we're going to mix up our glaze. So this is what we're going to use to drizzle over top of our pancakes and make it delicious and frosting-y. It's going to be so good. And we're just going to mix that until it's nice and smooth. We want to get rid of any of those icing sugar lumps. And if it's a little bit thick, you can add more milk. If you're finding that's a little bit too thin, just add some more icing sugar. You can play around with it to get the texture that you want. So here you can see we've got this nice, that's a good drizzling consistency. Almost the consistency of syrup is kind of what we're going to be looking for. So there we go. That's our frosting glaze for the side. So we'll set that off and move everything out of the way here. And let's see. Oh, there we go. Our pan's getting nice and warm already. So we're going to take our cooking spray. So just all-purpose cooking spray, just to make sure it doesn't stick. If you don't have this, you can always put a little bit of butter in the pan as well. So we're just going to spray a little bit of cooking spray to make sure that our pancakes don't stick. So that would be a very sad day if our pancakes stuck. And you're going to drop them depending on how big you want your pancakes. I'm kind of a fan of smaller pancakes, and I can stack them up and I can eat more of them. So I like to make my pancakes kind of smallish, but you can make a giant one. You could make Mickey Mouse shaped ones. This is where you get to have fun with the pancakes. You can do a heart-shaped pancake if you wanted. So I've got a scoop here that I'm going to be using. But you could, at home, you can just use a measuring cup to scoop your pancake batter out and stick it in. You could use a squeeze bottle if you wanted to make fun shapes. You can get creative and have fun with it. Let's see, so we're going to stick our pancake batter right in there. I'm going to do 3 little pancakes here. You can see it's nice and fluffy. Now, you can't see, but I'm sure that you would know that it's nice and fluffy and it's risen a little bit. So we're going to wind up with these nice fluffy pancakes. I'll set that back over here. So now when you're cooking pancakes, what you're looking for to know when it's done and ready to flip is you want to see in the middle of your pancake, there's some bubbles that are starting to form. As well around the edges, it started to go a little bit dry looking almost. That's when your pancake is pretty much perfect to flip. It's not going to be burnt or anything on the bottom. It's just nice and golden brown. Then you're going to flip it over and you're going to cook it for about 1 minute to 2 minutes on the other side, depending on how big and thick your pancakes are. So while that's cooking, Carissa, did anybody have any questions? Because of course I can't read the chat screen across over here. So if anyone's got any questions?
I don't see any questions yet, but we'll stay tuned and see if anyone asks anything.
Perfect. Pancakes are relatively straightforward.
Yeah, totally. I'm adding the recipe in here if anyone would like that. You can make these at a later date if you're running behind or anything like that. So that's in the chat for you too. And perfect. No questions, but if you're all wrapped up, Caitlin can come around to tables later on. If you want to ask her anything, just send her a little message and she'll be available.
Perfect. Yeah, we're just about done with these pancakes, and then I'll show you guys how to garnish them up so that they look all nice. I think these look like they're, oh yeah, those are just, oh, not quite. They're almost ready to flip. They're dry on the edges, but they're not bubbly on top. So they're just about there. I'm not quite ready to flip yet, probably because I'm using the wrong pan. It was a lot easier on this yesterday, but things happen. So if anybody's interested as well, like Carissa mentioned, you can check out, I've got a webpage where we can book classes. So I'm offering up some baking classes. I'm a professional pastry chef of 15 years. So we got right now macarons, croissants, homemade s'mores, and donuts, lemon drop donuts, because of course, what is Stampede without donuts? So if you want to check out our website, you can go on there and see what we've got up for offering for classes. All right, there we go. These pancakes look like they're ready to flip. I'm realizing my spatula is a little bit large for that pan. So I'm going to scale down. Oh yeah, those are beautifully golden brown. There we go. So I'm not sure if anyone's going to be able to see on that camera there. There we go. You can see how those are beautifully golden because the one pancake was nice and dry looking on top. We're just going to give that another minute or two while we get our plate out. There we go. I'm going to use a nice white plate so you can see all the fun sprinkle stuff on top. Now I'm also going to be garnishing with a little bit of whipped cream. So I'm a big fan of whipped cream in the can because you can just squirt it in your mouth when you're done. If you feel like it, you can always make your own whipped cream just by whipping cream and icing sugar, a little bit of vanilla. But today we're going to be using a good old can of Cool Whip because that's my favorite. All right, and these pancakes feel like they are good to go. Oops. All right, so, oops, they're stuck together. There we go. There we go. We've got beautiful birthday cake pancakes. You can see all the sprinkles in them. They're nice and golden brown on either side, and they're hot. There we are. Move that back over to the side. All right, so we've got our beautifully sprinkled birthday cake pancakes. So to finish them off, we're going to take a little bit of that icing glaze that we made, just like maple syrup. We're going to drizzle that over top. Just add that nice extra level of frosting sweetness. Oh yeah, good and drizzly. And then the whipped cream. So nice big Rosetta whipped cream on top there. And the piece de resistance, of course, more sprinkles. So yeah, sprinkle a few more of those on top there, make it super extra festive. And if it is your birthday or for Kids Up Front birthday, you can always throw a candle in there. My mom used to make these pancakes for me on my birthday. So all this credit goes out to my mom. So there we are. We've got our birthday cake pancakes. So I hope you guys enjoy these today and happy stampeding.
Thank you so much. Looks like we have a couple questions for you, Caitlin. If
Scoop back in. Of course, fire away.
Our first question, what's your favorite?
Ooh, my favorite pancake topping, I think would probably have to be, you know, people are going to laugh at me for this because I'm a pastry chef and there are two words that I actually can't properly pronounce. I can't say the word cinnamon, which is that stick spice, and I can't say the word strawberry, which are those little red berries that you find in your garden. So my favorite topping is actually strawberries that are fresh from my garden, even though nobody knows what a strawberry actually is. I would have to say that's probably my favorite is some fresh strawberries, tossed in a little bit of sugar, and then with some whipped cream on top. That's my favorite.
Delicious. I love it.
Yeah.
We had another question. Someone just wanted information on cooking lessons and baking. That's on your website. She can find that, or should she contact you directly?
Yeah, if you go on my website, you can find everything on there directly, as well as contact information if you have any questions.
Perfect. Looks like that's all of our questions for now. Thank you so much, Caitlin.
Excellent.
They look delicious. Can't wait to try the recipe out for myself.
Perfect. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
All right. Bye.
Awesome. So our next guest is the 2020 Stampede poster artist, Ariel. We have a couple questions for her today, and if you have any questions you'd like to ask her, we'd definitely be happy to pass those along. We want to say congratulations on being chosen as the 2020 Calgary Stampede poster artist. That's such a huge accomplishment. So we'd love to invite you on the stage whenever you're ready.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. We're going to ask you a couple questions. Is there anything else you wanted to say? Introduce yourself to the group.
Sure. So my name is Ariel Clipperton. I am 18 years old. I just graduated from high school. And yeah, I was 17 when I was chosen for the poster artist, and it's been kind of a crazy year, and I think it's been a pretty crazy year for everyone, but it's been especially unique for me, I would say, with everything that's been going on with the Stampede.
Yeah, definitely. Well, congratulations on graduating, such a big milestone. I'm sure it was interesting celebrating in a different way, but congratulations nonetheless.
Thank you.
So for our first question, how old were you when you first became interested in art?
I've been interested in art basically my whole life. I've been doing lessons since I was in elementary school, but I started focusing a bit more seriously on art when I was in grade 7. I started painting in the studio. And so that was 6 years of painting in a studio, and I think that's really what accelerated my art growth. But art has always been my biggest passion ever since I was really, really little.
That's awesome. Did you have any teachers or mentors that made a positive impact along your art journey? And if so, what has their impact meant to you in those years of working towards your craft?
So I've had lots of art teachers ever since I was little. I worked with many art teachers in my studio as well as art teachers at school, but I have 2 that were specifically very important to me. I have an art teacher at school that I've had since I was in grade 1, and she's worked with me ever since I started at my school. So she's very, very important to me because she's seen my growth since the very, very beginning. And she was the one that actually suggested I did this poster competition in the first place. So she really pushed me past my limits, and I think that I really learned from her, as well as my most recent art teacher in my studio, Loretta. So I've been with her for 4 years, and she has really, really helped me grow as well. So those 2 are especially important to me.
Oh, that's awesome. Growing up, did you attend Stampede with your family? Were you involved in the rodeo at all? Or was it kind of something that just came up with the poster contest specifically?
We always went to the Stampede when I was younger, and the rodeo was always my favorite event. I always thought it was so fun to be in the grandstand because it's such a high energy activity, and so we would always go and we would have our cousins come out from Ontario, and we would all watch this the rodeo together. So I've been going to the Stampede ever since I was really, really little, and we have some Western background in our family. We have people that live out in Millerville, so we used to go out to the Millerville races as well. So we have some Western culture kind of integrated throughout our family. Though we're not directly involved with the rodeo, it's something that's always been very, very relevant in my life.
Oh, that's great. It sounds like a nice tie-in with the poster contest and the Stampede and a little bit of family heritage and all those positive memories. That's a really nice connection.
Mm-hmm. It was something that I really wanted to include in my poster because the rodeo is my favorite part. So I wanted to depict something that involved the rodeo, which is why I chose the cowboy looking out into the grandstand.
I love that. Yeah, the rodeo is one of my favorite things too. It's very high energy, and I haven't been to too many other rodeos other than the Calgary Stampede. Maybe I'll have to check out Millerville. Thanks for the recommendation. How has your life changed since the announcement of being chosen for the Artist of 2020? I'm sure this was impacted by COVID as well. So how that kind of
well, even though obviously the Stampede did have to get canceled because of COVID, I did still have so many opportunities because of the Stampede poster. So in that way, my life has changed a lot. I've had lots of opportunities with media, so I got to experience what it was like being on TV or speaking on the radio. And I also got lots of opportunities to work with organizations through the Stampede. So I volunteered at the Stampede School, and I led a few classes through an art lesson, which was very, very cool experience because it was something that I'd never done before, but I love working with kids. So it was a really fun opportunity. And as well, I've gotten other opportunities. Like last week, I painted a window downtown, which is something I've also never done. But the Stampede has given me lots of opportunities to explore other areas related to art and also just explore other areas related to the Stampede. So I think that's the one thing that has changed the most for me is the amount of opportunities that I've got, and also just the exposure as an artist, because a lot of young artists don't really get a lot of exposure. So the fact that I can share my art with so many people at such a young age has been very, very cool.
That's incredible. And it sounds like you have so much passion for what you do. So I'm glad that you were selected, that you were given all these opportunities to showcase your work, because yeah, like you said, there's not always these kind of things that come up for young artists and emerging artists. So that's really an awesome point in your life. I'm very happy for you. So I guess looking towards the future with all this momentum and everything that's been going on for you, graduating from high school, what's your biggest dream for your art when you look forward to the future?
Well, for me, I'm going into architecture next year, which isn't exactly fine art, but it is definitely a creative field. And for me, I love seeing a project start from the very beginning and develop to an end product. And I think architecture will really do that. So I think if I end up pursuing a career in architecture or design or something around that area, being able to have projects, I guess, come to an end and be seen by a bunch of people is my biggest thing, because I love sharing my art, and I love watching other people do their art as well. So, and I guess also collaborating with other people, because I love working and seeing how other people, I guess, tackle projects and see their creative processes. So
yeah, and architecture, I'm sure, has a lot of collaboration, a lot of different ideas coming to fruition, and then something that you can, see and can be used by others for years to come. And with architecture, are you planning on going to a specific college or university after you graduate, or are you taking some time to decide what direction you're going in?
I got accepted at University of Toronto, so that's where I will be taking my classes next year for architecture. So yeah, and I want to get to it right away. I think even though I'm not exactly sure what I want to do, I know that that's the general area that I would like to study in. So
yeah. Oh, congratulations on getting accepted. What encouragement would you give to children or youth who are also pursuing art? What kind of suggestions would you give to them, especially being at home with everything going on? Pieces of advice that you would have.
Well, I think the number one thing is to not be afraid of failing or of making mistakes, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to push you the furthest, and that's what's going to help you grow as an artist more and more. For me especially, I used to be so afraid of drawing faces or doing portraits because it seemed like a very daunting task. It's something that's pretty difficult, but I had an art teacher who really, really pushed me to try it, and it's now my favorite thing to do is to draw people. And so you never know what you're going to like unless you try it. And also mistakes can be turned into art as well. There's lots of times where I've made a mistake on a painting or a drawing, and you can turn it into something different and something new. So you should never be discouraged by mistakes, because at the end of the day, all it's going to do is help you grow as an artist. Yeah. And never be afraid to try new things as well, because you never know what you're going to like.
Yeah, I love that. That's great advice for everything, right? Never be afraid of failure and just accept all the challenges that come your way, and it's turning out really well for you. So that's great advice. Not art related question, but what's your favorite pancake topping?
My personal favorite pancake topping is blueberry syrup. I used to go out to BC in the summer, and there was this fruit stand that sold this delicious blueberry syrup. And so ever since, that's all I want on my pancakes is blueberry syrup. I find it so, so good.
Yum, never tried that before. So if people are looking to find your art, where can they find you? Do you have a website? Are you active on social media? Where can these folks check out what you've been up to and see your journey as an artist going forward?
Yeah, so I've got an Instagram account where I post my art. Would it show up if I typed it in the comments?
Yeah, if you put it in the chat, it should show up.
I'll do that. There you go. So that is the account for my art Instagram. I have lots of stuff on there, and there's lots of stuff very different from the Stampede poster as well. So
awesome.
Yeah, obviously, if you're interested, you can go check it out.
That's awesome. And I'll also link just an article here for anyone who's interested, an article about the Stampede poster that features Ariel in it as well. If you want to read more information and look at the Stampede poster if you haven't already, it's a very beautiful piece of art. I would recommend checking that out and following and supporting this young, ambitious artist and seeing where she goes with her journey. So thank you for taking the time to speak with us, and we really appreciate it. And maybe one day in the future we can work with you for some art-related things for Kids Up Front. Who knows?
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for having me. This was a wonderful opportunity, and I'm so happy that I could speak to all of you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. If anyone has any questions later on, you can chat to Ariel in the conference center or pass them on to a Kids Up Front staff member. We can reach out and answer your questions at a later time if something comes up to you. So hope to hear some questions from you guys later. And thank you so much, Ariel.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
All right, next we're just gonna have a little bit of a break. There will be some gameplay at your tables if you'd like. That's optional if you want to show your pancakes to Caitlin or any of the Kids Up Front staff. That's also an option for you too. So we're just gonna take a quick break and we'll be back for the mini concert with Drew Gregory shortly.